Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, June 6, 2023. Today we'll recap yesterday's Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll talk about yesterday's MLB games. Look at today's games. WNBA slate today. We'll go over all the soccer from the weekend that we forgot to do on the show. Yesterday, we have the Women's College World Series, the NCAA Baseball Tournament. We have the French Open. I'm going to give out a pick for the portfolio today, News and Notes, and Best Bet. The Stanley Cup Final is where we'll begin. Last night's game was an absolute blowout as Vegas went 7-2 over the Panthers to take a 2-0 series lead. First period, 7:05 into the period, Jonathan Marchessault, his 11th of the postseason on the power play, assisted by Chandler Stevenson and Jack Eichel, puts Vegas up 1-0. Then, almost 18 minutes into the period, Alex Martinez scores his first of the postseason, assisted by Ivan Barbashev and Jonathan Marchessault, makes it 2-0 Vegas. Second period, Nick Roy's second of the postseason from William Carrier and Zach Whitecloud to make it 3-0 Vegas. And then a little over 7 into the second period, Brett Howden, his fourth of the postseason from Mark Stone and Chandler Stevenson, makes it 4-0. And they made the goalie change off Florida. I want to say after the third goal, they put in Alex Lyon for Sergei Bobrovsky. But it didn't freaking matter. Third period, Antoine Lundell, 14 seconds in, puts Florida on the board. Then almost 2 minutes later, Jonathan Marchessault, his second of the game, from Jack Eichel, makes it 5-1. And by the way, Anthony Duclair assisted on the Lundell goal. And next up, with the sixth goal from Vegas, was Michael Amadio from William Karlsson to make it 6-1 Vegas. That was in the 10th minute. And then about 2 minutes later, Florida gets within 4 on a goal by Matt Tkachuk, his 10th of the postseason from Sam Bennett. And Josh Mahura make it 6-2. And then Howden again, his 5th of the postseason on a power play from Amadio and Carrier to make it 7-2. The number 3 started game with 2 goals, Brett Howden. Number 2 started game with an assist, Ivan Barbashev. Number 1 started the game with 2 goals and an assist, Jonathan Marchessault. Game 3 of the series will be Thursday from Florida. So let's see if the Panthers have a rally in their bones in the series. Now I'm going to go over the Major League Baseball results from yesterday and look ahead to the games being played tonight and potentially today. All right, so makeup game, Rays over the Red Sox 4-1, Phils over the Tigers 8-3, Marlins over the Royals 9-6. Pirates over the A's 5-4. Astros over the Blue Jays 11-4. Reds over the Brewers 2-0. So best bet 1. Rangers over the Cardinals 4-3. And the Padres over the Cubs 5-0. All night games 6:30 tonight. Tyler Alexander, Taijuan Walker, Tigers, Phils. So I would assume that the Phillies are favored here. And they are minus 184. The Tigers are plus 154. Over under 9.5. Over is even money. Under is minus 122. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 122. Phillies minus 1.5 is plus 102. Neither of these guys have been particularly good. I like full game over. Royals, Marlins, Zach Greinke and Jesus Luzardo. Marlins minus 152, Royals plus 128, over under 7.5. Over is minus 118, under is minus 104. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 156, Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going full game over here too. That's low. Twins, Rays, Louis Varland and Zach Eflin. Rays minus 188, Twins plus 158, over under 7.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Twins plus 1.5 is minus 137. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 114. Louis Varland's been kind of hit or miss for the Twins this year. I'm going over 4.5 race runs at even money. White Sox, Yankees. Lucas Giolito and Clark Schmidt. Yanks minus 166. White Sox plus 140 over under 8.5 minus 110 each way. Chicago plus 1.5 is minus 142. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 118. Full game over is the pick. No doubt about it. D-backs, Nats. Tommy Henry, Jake Irvin. D-backs really need to take care of business here. You can't lose to the Nationals. They're minus 158. The Nats are plus 128 over under 9.5. Over is minus 122. Under is even money. D-backs minus 1.5 is even money. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 120. Tommy Henry's been pretty good for the Diamondbacks this season. I'm going to go full game under. A's, Pirates. James Kaprielian and Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller's one of the more improved pitchers in baseball this year. He's minus 245 is Pittsburgh. A's 2-1 over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. A's plus 1.5 is plus 102. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 is minus 122. For this one, I'm going to go under 3 A's runs at plus 104. Astros, Blue Jays. Hunter Brown, Kevin Gausman. Blue Jays minus 142. Astros plus 120 over under 8. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 184. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 152. You don't see the Astros as that big of an underdog often. Not going to pick it because Gausman's been so good. So for this one, I'm going to go with the full game under. Worst case scenario, it's a push. Red Sox, Guardians, James Paxton, and Shane Bieber. Guardians minus 124. Red Sox plus 106 over under 7.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Boston plus 1.5 is minus 188. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 155. For this one, I'm going to go with over 4 Guardian runs plus 104. I just don't like James Paxton. Dodgers, Reds. Tony Gonsolin and Luke Weaver. Dodgers minus 188. Reds plus 158 over under 10.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 113. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 106. I'm going with the Dodgers on the run line. TBS 720. Mets, Braves. Carlos Carrasco and Bryce Edler. Braves minus 162. Mets plus 136 over under 10. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 140. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 116. For this one, I'm going to go over 5 Braves runs at minus 115. 7:30, Orioles, Brewers. Kyle Gibson and Freddie Peralta. Brewers minus 126, O's plus 108, over under 8.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. O's plus 1.5 is minus 184. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 152. For this one, I'm going to go with over 4 Oriole runs at minus 110. Cards, Rangers at 8. Matthew Liberatore and Dane Dunning. Rangers minus 152. Cards plus 128. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 142. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 118. I'm going to go with the full game under here, actually. I like it. 8:30, Giants, Rockies. John Brebbia and Danielson Lamet. Giants minus 144, Rockies plus 122, over under 11.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 104, Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 125, full game under. Cubs, Angels at 9:30, Hayden Wisniewski and Tyler Anderson. Angels minus 130, Cubs plus 110, over under 9.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 166, Angels minus 1.5 is plus 138. I like the full game over. And the Mariners and the Padres, Logan Gilbert and Joe Musgrove. Padres minus 142, Mariners plus 120, over under 7.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 182, Padres minus 1.5 is plus 150. Neither of these guys have been pitching well of late. I like the full game over. Okay, now we'll move on to the WNBA. we have some games that we have to talk about tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Aces and the Sun. That's a great game. That is the game of the night in the W. It's a good one. The Aces are favored by 6.5. Total's 167.5. I like the Sun getting the points. That's a lot. 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network Commissioner's Cup game. Fever Sky. The Sky are favored by 5.5. Total's 159.5. I'm going to go with the over. That's a low total. And 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network Commissioner's Cup game. Sparks Storm. The Sparks are given 2.5. Totals 166.5. All right. The Storm are winless. We know that they're due. The Sparks aren't that good, right? I'm going to take Seattle getting the 2.5 and plus 118 to win the game outright. All right, now move on to soccer. We have a lot of results to talk about from the weekend, and we'll discuss anything important today. All right, so we'll start with the National Women's Soccer League. Saturday, Portland over OL Reign 2-1. Louisville, Washington 1-1 draw. Houston over Orlando 2-0. Kansas City over North Carolina 1-0. Sunday, San Diego over Gotham 1-0. And then yesterday, Chicago over Angel City 2-1. We have MLS from the weekend. New England, NYCFC, 0-0 draw. Seattle, Portland, 0-0 draw. Cincinnati over Chicago, 1-0. DC United over Miami, 2-1. Orlando over the Red Bulls, 3-0. Union over CF Montreal, 3-0. Columbus over Charlotte, 4-2. Salt Lake over Austin, 2-1. Nashville over Dallas, 2-1. Minnesota, Toronto, 1-1 draw. St. Louis over Houston, 3-0. Colorado, San Jose, 0-0 draw. And Vancouver, Kansas City, 1-1 draw. We have games on Wednesday, but only 2, so we'll get to that then. Spanish La Liga from Sunday. Mallorca over Rayo 3-0. Osasuna over Girona 2-1. Real Madrid Athletic 1-1 draw. Real Sociedad over Sevilla 2-1. Villarreal Atletico 2-2 draw. Celta Vigo over Barcelona 2-1. Elche over Cadiz. I'm sorry, that was a 1-1 draw. Espanyol Almeria 3-3 draw. Betis Valencia 1-1 draw. And Valladolid Getafe 0-0 draw. Italian Serie A, Fiorentina over Sassuolo 3-1 on Friday. Saturday, Inter Milan over Torino 1-0. Cremonese over Salernitana 2-0. And Lazio over Empoli 2-0. Okay, Sunday, Napoli over Sampdoria 2-0. Milan over Verona 3-1. AS Roma over Spezia 2-1. Atalanta over Monza 5-2. Bologna over Lecce 3-2. And Juventus over Udinese 1-0. French League 1 Saturday. AC Ajaccio over Marseille 1-0. Lens over Auxerre 3-1. Toulouse over Monaco 2-1. Rennes over Brest 2-1. Lorient over Strasbourg 2-1. Nantes over Angers 1-0. Nice over Lyon 3-1. Clermont-Foot over PSG 3-2. Montpellier over Reims 3-1. And Troyes Lille 1-1 draw. Okay, we also had the UEFA Women's Champions Final on Saturday. Barcelona beat Wolfsburg 3-2. So Barcelona wins the UEFA Women's Championship. And in CONCACAF, Lyon wins 1-0 at LAFC, and they win 3-1 on aggregate. So Lyon wins the 2023 CONCACAF Champions League. So congrats to Lyon. I knew LAFC was just going to run out of gas. Dutch Era devised from Sunday. FC Tourney over Heerenveen 4-0. And then Twente advances 6-1 on aggregate. And FC Utrecht beats Sparta 1-0. But it was 2-2 aggregate. But Sparta advances 5-4 on penalties. So Dutcher Devise will be back on Thursday. So we got to remember to touch on that. And then we have one more, I think. Let's see. The Australian A-League men, the CC Mariners beat Melbourne City 6-1 on Saturday. All right, the Turkish Super League. Saturday, Konyaspor and Faith Karagu 1-1 draw. Istanbul BB over Adana Demirspor 3-2. Antalyaspor over Hatayspor 3-0. Istanbulspor over Gaziantep 3-0. Besiktas over Kasımpaşa 5-2. Ankara over Kayserispor 1-0. Trabzonspor over Alanyaspor 5-1. And Dersimspor over Ranspor 1-0. Sunday, Galatasaray over Fenerbahce 3-0. And then today, 3 games. 10 o'clock, you have Fatih Karagu and Kasımpaşa. I am going to give out some picks. Fatih's plus 140. Kasımpaşa's plus 140. The draw's plus 290. I'm going to go Kasımpaşa plus 140. Sivasspor and Kayserispor. Sivasspor's minus 115. Kayserispor's plus 260. The draw's plus 270. I'm going to go with the draw plus 270. And at 1 o'clock, I have Istanbul BB and Trabzonspor. But Kayseri's plus 130. Trabzonspor's plus 160. The draw's plus 270. I'm going to go with Trabzonspor at plus 160. All right, so that's it for the soccer today. We'll move on to women's College World Series. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. All right. Actually, there are not any games today. Oklahoma beat Stanford 4-2-9 to advance to the championship series, and Florida State knocks off Tennessee 5-1 to advance to the championship series. That'll begin on Wednesday with Game 1. Game 2 will be Thursday, and in Game 3, if necessary, will be Friday. So, the 2 teams that I thought were going to get there have gotten there. And Stanford gave Oklahoma a run for its money, but Oklahoma came up with big in the 9th inning. So Stanford almost pulled off a pretty monumental upset there. Got to mention that. All right, now I'll move on to baseball for college. We'll go over the results from yesterday. And we don't have anything for today. Number 2, Florida over Texas Tech 6-0 in Gainesville as Florida advances to the Super Regionals. Number 5, LSU over Oregon State 13-7 in Baton Rouge as LSU advances to Super Regionals. TCU upsets number 3 Arkansas 12-4 in Fayetteville to the Super Regionals. Southern Miss beats Penn 11-7 in the Auburn Regional to advance. Duke upsets number 10 Coastal Carolina 12-3 as Duke advances to the Super Bowls. That's in Conway. Lexington, number 12, Kentucky over Indiana 4-2 as Kentucky advances. And the Stanford region, number 8, Stanford over Texas A&M 7-1 as Stanford advances to the Super Regionals. So we have Florida, LSU, TCU, Southern Miss, Duke, Kentucky, and Stanford in the Super Regionals, as well as Virginia coming from Charlottesville, Texas coming from Coral Gables, Indiana State coming from Terre Haute, South Carolina coming from Columbia, Tennessee coming from the Clemson region, Wake coming from Winston-Salem, Oral Roberts coming from Stillwater, Oregon coming from Nashville, and then Alabama coming from Tuscaloosa. So 16 teams in the Super Regionals. Should be a lot of fun ahead, as we'll get into that as the Super Regionals begin, I believe, tomorrow. All right, now we'll move on to tennis. We'll go over the results from yesterday's French Open action and look ahead to everything going on today. All right, so men's singles from yesterday, fourth round, we had Tomas Martin Echeverry upsetting 27 seed Yoshihito Nishioka in 3 sets. 22 seed Alexander Zverev over 28 seed Grigor Dimitrov in 3 sets. 6 seed Holger Rune over 23 seed Francisco Cerundolo in 5 sets. And 4 seed Casper Ruud over Nicholas Jarry in 3 sets. Going on right now, 3 seed Novak Djokovic and 11 seed Karen Khachanov. I think I said Djokovic in 4 on yesterday's show, and now I'm going to pick the quarterfinal going on at 2:15 today between 1 seed Carlos Alcaraz and 5 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. It's going to be a really good game, or match, I should say. Alcaraz is minus 490. Stefanos Tsitsipas is plus 375. I'm going to go to set betting. Alcaraz has been really good, and I don't want to count out Tsitsipas as well. So I'm going to go Carlos Alcaraz 3-1 at plus 250 as my pick there. And then the quarterfinal going on at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll pick 22 seed Alexander Zverev and Tomas Martin Echeverry. I think it's going to be a really good match. Tomorrow morning, Zverev's minus 300, Echeverry's plus 240. I think this could go to distance. And I'm going to go with Zverev 3-2 at plus 420. And at 2:15 tomorrow is 6 seed Holger Rune and 4 seed Casper Ruud. We'll pick that match on tomorrow's podcast. All right, women's. Fourth round from yesterday, 1 seed Iga Swiatek over Lizia Sarenko in a walkover. 6 seed Coco Gauff over Anna Carolina Schmidlova in 2 sets. 14 seed Beatriz Haddad Maia over Sarah Sorbias Tormo in 3 sets. And 7 seed Ons Jabeur over Bernarda Pera in 2 sets. Quarterfinals final from today, 2 seed Arena Sabalenka over Alina Svitolina in 2 sets, and Carolina Muchova over Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in 2 sets. Tomorrow morning quarterfinals will pick 5 a.m. You have 14 seed Beatriz Haddad Maia and 7 seed Ons Jabeur. Should be a really good match. Ons Jabeur is favored at minus 275. Beatriz Haddad Maia is plus 225. I think this is going to be a good match. I'm going to go to Ons Jabeur 2-1 at plus 280. And then at 6:30 tomorrow morning, 1 seed Iga Swiatek and 6 seed Coco Gauff. I actually think Coco has a real chance to win here. And I think that her at 21-1 to win the whole thing has a lot of value. And I really think that she has an excellent shot to pull off the big upset. Iga Swiatek is so good, though. Minus 14.15. Coco is plus 8.10. So I'm going to go with Swiatek 2-1 at 4-1. I think Coco will pick her off once. And then we have one semifinal match set for Thursday. Carolina Muchova and 2 seed Ariana Sabalenka. We'll get to that on the podcast tomorrow. All right, now we're going to go to the portfolio. I rushed it last week, of full disclosure, because I forgot about it and remembered it while recording the best bet segment. But anyway, we have some interesting things to look at. And I think that there's some stuff in the NFL, MLB, and even the MLS that are interesting to look at. I thought about Aaron Judge for MVP on last week's show. It was 7-1, and now it's down to plus 550. But he's hurt right now, so he might go on the injured list. So, kind of glad that I dodged that one in case he does go on the IL. But, the other things that I don't want to be a jinx either. The Orioles are 13-1 to win the AL East, which is wild. The Yankees are plus 390. The Mets are plus 850 to win the NL East. Just looking at division odds right now. D-backs are 8-1 to win the West, but I think that's too. Maybe at double digits, I'd consider that. So for my portfolio pick, all right, where I wanted to go for MLS, the two teams I'm looking at are in double digits, so not gonna go there. So I'm gonna go with the NFL for my future that I'm gonna give out. I gave out the Steelers at 5-1 to win the North, or it's 5-1 now. But I think I got it at 6-1. It's down to 5-1. So, for my future, that I'm going to give out. I'm going to go back a team that I've backed a lot in the preseason. I'm going to pick this team again in my portfolio. Not necessarily saying that they're actually going to do it, but I just think the value's there. The Seattle Seahawks will be the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs at 16-1. I mean, what if Jalen Hurts gets hurt? No pun intended. What if the Eagles start to show age on the offensive line with Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey? And I know the defensive line with Fletcher Cox. Amazingly enough, the Dallas Cowboys are plus 175 to win the division. The Eagles are only minus 105. You're seeing some momentum shift. It's like the opposite of last year when Dallas opened as the NFC's favorites, but by the time the season started, the Eagles were favored in the NFC East, which is weird. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to be the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. Laying a half unit on it at 16-1. I love the Seahawks team and its potential. If Geno Smith regresses, I'm going to look like a pumpkin. And I'm going to look like an idiot. And he has great receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be a great addition to that offense. Kenneth Walker's a good young running back. Offensive line, maybe that's improved. Maybe you'll see improvement from their defense. Of course, they have the home field advantage with the 12th man. So I like the Seahawks' chances to be the 1 seed if things go wrong for Philadelphia and some of the other teams in the NFC. All right, now I'm going to do my news and notes for today. We are going to start with the silliest rumor of the offseason for this particular team. And this was unnecessary talk and attention already regarding the NBA offseason. And that is Chris Haynes reporting that the Dallas Mavericks wanted LeBron James at the trade deadline, and Kyrie wanted LeBron in Dallas. And it was just the dumbest rumor I've heard in a while. I think they're just looking for talk and typical media and yada yada. I know a lot of people have made jokes about LeBron going to Dallas, but now people are actually reporting that the Mavs were looking at that. And the Mavs are just stupid and unrealistic because they wouldn't be able to get LeBron in a trade because they gave up a lot for Kyrie Irving. And they have no assets outside of Luka. None. So the Mavericks they're honestly turning into the Knicks in the Carmelo Anthony era. With one great player and not much else. And trying different things to make it work, and it really hasn't worked. except that Porzingis and Kyrie, the Mavs were able to get in trades, and the Knicks weren't able to get anybody in trades. It kind of has like that feel to it, except the Mavs are getting co-stars to go with Luka, but neither of them have worked out in Kyrie or Porzingis. So that's just dumb. And then a Lakers source said that LeBron to the Mavs is unrealistic as Dallas does not have the pieces to land him. Exactly. And the Lakers not even interested in Kyrie. And Irving is unlikely to take a discount during free agency and sign with another team. And he does want to stay in Dallas. Says he's consistently expressed desire to remain a Mav and shut down rumors he's angling for the Lakers. And then, how about this? The Mavericks are eyeing Jeff Van Gundy to be an assistant in Jason Kidd's staff. Like, what? I don't think Jeff Van Gundy would leave the broadcast booth being an assistant on Jason Kidd's staff in Dallas. I love Jeff Van Gundy. He was a very good coach for the Knicks. And he did a good job with the Rockets, too. And he's a great broadcaster. But I just think that the league, it's past its time. He's the John Gruden of the NBA, unfortunately, in my opinion. And if I'm Jeff, I stay in the broadcast booth. I know he coached the young Team USA team and done good with them, but I think in terms of NBA, it's kind of past its time. So, I know it would be for an assistant if the Mavs were to pull him in, but I wouldn't like that. The Clippers promote Trent Ridden to general manager and Mark Hughes to senior vice president and assistant GM. So the Clippers promote within, which is interesting. We'll see how that goes. And a lot of pressure on that team to do some stuff this offseason. Mike Malone roasts the Lakers in his post game, which is really funny. Now we'll go to baseball. Jacob deGrom moved to the 60-day DL. Or IL is the earliest he can come back is June 28th. Trevor Story can come back this season, as the team's not ruling out bringing him back before he can field. So they might bring him back as a DH. Max Fried moved to the 60-day injured list with the forearm injury. Has been out since May 6th, and Mike Soroka additionally optioned to AAA. Yikes. So some internal stuff going on with Atlanta right now. The A's Vegas deal is uncertain, as Insider says the deal has a 50-50 chance of needing a special session in Nevada legislature. Wow. Shohei Ohtani's already a minus 145 favorite for AL MVP, and Aaron Judge is plus 550, as we just talked about. Hockey, the Rangers wrote Patrick Raw, although there are some conflicting rumors about that. John Hines and Peter Laviolette are the front runners. I think Peter Laviolette is the better choice of the two retread coaches there. I'm not a big John Hines fan. I don't think he was that good with the Devils. He was a little better in Nashville, got some teams to overachieve there. He got one Devil team to overachieve, but he really wasn't very good as the Devils coach outside of that 1 year where they made the playoffs with Taylor Hall. So I'm not the biggest John Hines fan. Rather see Laviolette there than John Hines. E2 was training. Did not play in Game 2 last night of the Stanley Cup Final. The Anaheim Ducks hire Greg Cronin as its new head coach. Their AHL coach with 12 years of experience as an NHL assistant. Interesting hire. A lot of teams seem to be going with AHL guys. I mean, we saw Jared Bendar get hired from the AHL, and he won the Stanley Cup with the Avs. So, it can happen. The Knights and the Panthers combined for 148 penalty infraction minutes last night. Second most ever in a Stanley Cup Final game. There was a rat thrown on the ice last night in Vegas after the Matt Tkachuk goal. Football. Brock Purdy likely the 49ers starter, as vibes coming out of team headquarters suggest that he will start week 1 if cleared from the elbow injury. That is probably the right call. Colts cornerback Isaiah Rodgers was investigated for potential violations of league's gambling policy, including wagers on his own team. That's not good. And then Isaiah Rodgers apologizes, admits he made an error in judgment amid the NFL's investigation into possible gaming violations. Former NFL offensive tackle Russell Okung lost 100 pounds as he fasted for 40 days, which is crazy. Five-star linebacker Sammy Brown commits to Clemson over Georgia and Ohio State. So 2024 prospect there. College Football Hall of Fame ballot announcement. Notable candidates are Randy Moss, Michael Vick, and Larry Fitzgerald. Iniesta and Xavi were reunited as the Barca legends hugged in Japan during a preseason friendly. Okay, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. For this one, it was a little bit of a tougher choice. I'm going to go with the half unit. And the game I decided to go with, it just bites me in the ass. Whatever. I'm going to go with over 7.5 in the Mariner-Padre game. Half unit, minus 112. Neither Logan Gilbert or Joe Musgrove are pitching well right now. I could see this being a 5-3 game, and if that's the case, that is a winning bet. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything for today and looking at everything tomorrow. Maybe I'll do an MLB mock draft because I haven't done one yet, and then Thursdays will be NBA going forward, and Fridays will be NHL, and obviously we have a golf tournament to make a pick for tomorrow as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.